Hi, I'm Maggie Fitzgerald, and this year I was a year 1 in the Life Design Lab.
As I began the Life Design Lab course this year, I truly had no idea what I was getting myself into.
Back in middle school, when I initially told my guidance counselor I was interested in taking this course, I just thought it sounded interesting. Despite the interest the course piqued in me, I still did not fully understand what exactly the students in this academy did. Within the first few classes of the school year, learning that we had the freedom to do literally whatever we wanted shocked me. So many ideas soared through my head, and I honestly found it a little frustrating having little to no criteria to follow. The school system has so strongly molded me into a person who's given a specific assignment to complete in a specific way and hand in on a specific date. In the Life Design Lab, that was not the case whatsoever.
I knew from the get-go that my project was either going to do with soccer or writing, my two greatest passions.
I knew in order to accomplish anything of value, I needed to be passionate about what it was I was doing. My biggest passions in life lie in soccer, the sport I have been playing since I was a toddler, and writing, the hobby that school has taught me to love. Aaron, my classmate, teammate, and friend, who also takes this class and ultimately wound up being my partner on this project, previously did a soccer-related project in the Life Design Lab. As I began to ideate for my project, I spoke endlessly with Erin about ideas and inspirations I could take from her previous work. Eventually, we came to the logical conclusion of working together. We not only had similar ideas, but we also knew we worked well together, whether that be on the field or off. Initially, we wanted to write an article about mental health in athletes and get it published to some sort of female soccer news platform. We knew I liked writing, and we obviously knew that the two of us liked soccer. The idea was cohesive and seemed doable to both Aaron and me. However, the more research we collected and the more I started to write, we questioned what percentage of teenagers would consider sitting down to read an article. In 2023, the likelihood of any teen taking any time out of their day to read willingly is rare. So we made the decision to ditch that project. We loved the concept and we still wanted to see those same ideas across our new project. After consideration and ideation with both ourselves and others, Aaron and I decided to create a 4-episode mini-series podcast that is live on Spotify. We named our podcast Through Our Eyes. In addition to the podcast itself, we made an Instagram called Through Our Eyes 1620 to accompany it. To accomplish the making of this podcast, we use an app called Anchor, which is a sub-app to Spotify. On Anchor, we had the ability to record our conversations, edit them, add captions, and ultimately publish our work. We discuss the lives of student athletes, and each episode focuses on a separate topic. These discussions allowed Aaron and I to talk freely about personal experiences we have had and anything else we felt was worth sharing.
Throughout the course of this project, I've greatly improved on both mental and physical aspects of my daily life.
Becoming a more individual thinker and worker was at the heart of this project. When it comes to self-reliance, I've learned to rely on myself more than I rely on others because although this was a partner project, it was extremely individualized for me. Over the course of this project, I've improved my independent work skills and planning to get things done, whether it be alone or with the help of others. I could never guarantee that Erin would be alongside me for the entirety of our project since she was dealing with serious sports injuries. In the fall, she suffered a severe concussion which definitely caused some delay in the beginning of our project. Thus, I had to rely on my own judgment to create topics and discussions that I felt highlighted importance to both of us. This wasn't always easy. I would often come up with good ideas and then wonder if they would be suitable for Erin as well. Thinking in that fashion also led me into becoming a more empathetic person. Working with someone who faced so many hardships throughout the course of our project, I've learned how to empathize with people in a more meaningful way, and put that empathy into my work. Witnessing Erin face multiple challenges with sports injuries, first her concussion, then her ACL tear, made me think more about the emotions she was feeling and begin to feel them myself. After her concussion, I often wondered how she was doing, as my teammates and I texted her endlessly, knowing we'd get no response. Having little to no contact with not only my project partner, but also my friend was far from easy, and the simple reassurance that she was okay felt like all I needed. During this time, Erin's pain turned to my pain for her, and I think this ultimately strengthened our friendship. The strength of our friendship is conveyed in our podcast with our conversations and comfortability with one another. Now, this no longer exclusively applies to Erin. I feel that I can understand people as a whole better and recognize when I can step in and help somebody.
In my daily life, I'm an extremely regimented person, and I've always been that way. As you can see in this photo, my bed is always made, my nightstand is always neatly organized, and everything is put in an exact place. Even as I stand in my bedroom right now, that same theme is portrayed. In fact, people often call me a type A++ person. However, creating a 2-person podcast with 2 people with very conflicting schedules, I had to learn how to adjust my habits a bit.
I had to accommodate working in short periods of time and organizing things far ahead of time so we could be as efficient as possible. In addition to that, I have had to become more comfortable with rescheduling and rearranging dates and times to work on this project, which has never been an easy feat for me. Things being changed at the last minute is often a source of stress and anxiety for me, but throughout this project I had to learn how to face setbacks like that and find ways to get around them in a way that kept me calm. I like to get things done ahead of time so I don't have to worry if anything goes wrong. When it came to this project though, I had such a surplus of time that it almost stressed me out more. I knew that on days where I didn't work enough, I was losing valuable time, but I also knew days where I did work, there was so much time to go back and revisit and make it so much better. Working with Aaron made it even more difficult to figure out what days should be filled with work and which days could be more relaxed. However, communicating strongly with Aaron about what days work to record, what days work to edit, and what days work to plan our next episodes helped ease some of the disarray I was feeling about the timeline of our project. Learning how to cope with the idea of changing things at the last minute definitely made me more comfortable with it, but it also taught me more about myself. It helped me learn that I'm a person who generally strives with routine and that is okay. Being able to live a life of routine but also have the ability to be versatile when needed is something that can benefit me across the board, academically, athletically, and generally in my life. In addition to that, my ability to reflect on life has gained an immense amount of strength. Talking about my experiences as not only an athlete but also a person made me look deeper inside myself and reflect on parts of my life I wouldn't have otherwise. I've begun to think more about my actions and emotions in my life, and talking about those emotions often makes me feel better. Releasing how I feel through conversation, like in a podcast or simply to a friend or family member, allows me to have a better understanding of what exactly is going on in my mind. Oftentimes, I feel that there are so many thoughts floating around in my head, and I can get overwhelmed and overpowered by them. By verbally expressing how I feel, I can avoid those feelings and stressful moments. Even simple acts of mindfulness, such as thinking about my day before I go to sleep and combing through my mind to see what my sources of stress and anxiety may be, helps me keep a clearer mind. I can tell that I've transformed over the course of this project as not only an athlete but also a person, because I feel mentally more comfortable with things that may have caused me to feel uncomfortable and overwhelmed previously. I've improved at facing obstacles and moving forward in my work, no matter what that work may be, despite instances where it may have been easier to just continue avoiding it. Shying away from issues inside my head is not the solution to them. Bottling up my thoughts and keeping quiet won't fix my problems or the problems of those around me. By connecting with myself and people close to me on a deeper level, I can confidently say that I'm a better person than I was before, thanks to the Life Design Lab.